Bosasa CEO Gavin Watson has been killed in a horrific car accident close to OR Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg. Now, Watson was driving into the airport when he reportedly lost control of his vehicle and collided with a concrete pillar holding up a highway bridge. He was certified dead on the scene. Watson made headlines, of course, when he was implicated in testimony over payment of bribes to politicians at the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture. He was also seen in a video that went viral, counting large wads of money. The former anti-apartheid activist and businessman and his brother, Cheeky, played a pivotal role in the United Democratic Front and were key activists fighting for the sporting isolation of South Africa. Sadly, the Watson brothers have had several brushes with the law. In 2017, 3 of the brothers were arrested on fraud charges. As we noted there, the Watson brothers are a household name, particularly in the Eastern Cape. They were 4 brothers who became known for crossing the colour line and playing rugby in the black townships back in the 70s and 80s. Now, the brothers, Gavin, Ronnie, Cheeky and Valence, have their early roots in the farming community of Somerset East. Their father is believed to have been a lay preacher and taught them that all people are equal. All 4 of the brothers speak fluent Xhosa. The brothers are still have strong links in the Eastern Cape and have homes in the plush suburb of Mill Park. Let's cross to our reporter now, Lerato Thipa, who is at the family home. Perhaps you've been able to get some word indeed from the family in any way, Lerato, in what has certainly been a difficult time for the family.
Well, no word from the family as yet. When we actually arrived at Alabile, there was a man who wanted to remain anonymous, and he says that the family since Friday has been in Johannesburg really supporting Gavin, who apparently has been going through a lot of emotional turmoil. Apparently after the confession by Greasy at the Zondo Commission, he had been surrounded by family because he was not really strong emotionally because of what allegations are coming against him, saying that he wanted a chance to really respond to allegations and felt that they had not been afforded to him as yet. So when he arrived, there's a man who said that he doesn't want to be interviewed, wants to remain anonymous, was just told to drop off food and that the family is not inside the house. And all that he said, and I quote, is that Gavin was a Christian. Gavin was a man who loved God, and the family is really in grief. Outside, what you see right now, this is a home of Valence, who is one of 4 brothers of the Watsons. And as you alluded in your intro earlier on, is that there were 4 brothers. Now, the 3 brothers were really passionate about rugby, and as you said, passionate about growing the Eastern Cape, especially in terms of black players, really believing that in the Eastern Cape there is a breed of black players that have got talent to play in clubs and also play in the national country as well. But unlike his brother, Gavin was actually passionate about business, and during the 90s he formed an organization that really wanted to pioneer that was important to work with and not against the ANC. And unlike his brother, who was a businessman, a man who really lived a low-key life, had not very many cars and drove just the normal cars that you know, loved business, but like I said, was passionate about really working with the ANC, not against them, and teaching people this principle as well.
Yeah, Lerato, I suppose the one question would be, in a time like this though, how many of perhaps the community members in and around the area know much about, how the family has been of late? Have they spent the last couple of months perhaps up in Joburg as well, considering, as you said, that he needed that support? We're getting word as well that perhaps he may have been using medication as well. How difficult a scenario has it been? And have you heard word perhaps from any of the community members in and around that area?
Well, like I said earlier on, the community is very hush-hush. We tried to go to the neighbors who didn't want to speak, but the only person who did speak was the man who arrived here to deliver food to the neighbor, as he was instructed by the brother Valence to come and deliver food to the maid here. But he kept on saying that, I don't want to speak. But one thing that I can tell you is that the past few months have really been hard on Gavin. The family has constantly had to go to Johannesburg to make sure that he's okay emotionally. He wasn't coping with the allegations, especially not really coping with the fact that he felt that till now no one has come to him and given him his chance to speak back about these allegations as well. So really not emotionally strong, really going through a really horrific time, and saying that he wanted his chance to speak back as well. This man really said that Gavin was a man of prayer, and I think you said in your intro that his father was a priest, and I believe that of the 4 brothers, Gavin is the one who actually was the most spiritually strong. He was a man of prayer, he loved God, and apparently he would go to church every single Sunday because he felt that Christianity and spirituality were key to someone's stability as well. So the family as I understand from the man who was here earlier on, really struggling to come to terms with what has happened and really asking for privacy as they grieve the loss of this man who they say was a spiritual anchor to the Watson family.
Yeah, Lerato Thipa, I appreciate that. Standing outside, of course, the Watson home out in the Eastern Cape there, of course, just giving us some sentiment perhaps around the family's loss at this time when the CEO of Bosasa, that's Gavin Watson, having passed away in the early hours of this morning around 5 a.m., it is believed, right outside the OR Tambo International Airport.